Just give me 1 sec.
All right.
Okay, we're live.
All right. Welcome everybody to the book club. This is Sandman 6, and it was chosen by TM. I think Alan and TM are both sharing the stream.
I'm streaming it now on my channel.
There you go.
Well, welcome everybody to 24 Hours. That's right, guys. I brought a Neil Gaiman story written by Neil Gaiman, art by Dave McKean, and covered by Dave McKean. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. It starts off with a narration saying,
I'm sorry. 1 second, TM. We're multi-broadcasting this, so we're going to try not to use any profanity this stream. I just wanted to let you know before we started. But go ahead, TM. D's a gentleman. He'll be fine, guys.
Thank you. I know it might be hard.
We see that it's narrating the story, and that there's a narration. We're not sure who the narrator is as we're going along. He introduces us to the cast and characters that we're about to get to know. Starting with Betty. She's a waitress, but as we go on, we find out more and more that she's not just a waitress. She writes stories about every one of her customers that come in into the diner. And then we get introduced to just different people as this narration is happening. We get more and more introductions to some of the people that are in here and find out more and more about the stories that are happening with them, including that her husband does not really approve or really care that she is a writer, and then he just says it's a silly thing to do. We get introduced to another guy that's sitting there waiting, just having a coffee, waiting for an interview that he's going to go for. And that narration says oh, he'll get it. We get introduced to two lovebirds that come through the building. Or the cafe. They're trying to get food. They get some food, little lovebirds. Then we get into finally realizing who this narrator is. We find out that it's this shadowed character in the background. Let's skip a page. Nope. Sorry, I'm always bad at going over the stories.
No, it's good.
We find out that he's the one he's doing something to these people, as we see in this panel here. He's kind of watching them and observing them for a little bit, and then we see a little bit of differences. He's like, oh shoot, I need to go. And then he's like, oh, another coffee, sits down, and that goes on. At this point, this character, name has not been revealed, wants the TV on to check on what's going on. At this point, we get a little bit of understanding of who Judy is, and that from this story. I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names in this.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the names.
Yeah, I just know Betty. That's it, because it's just the one we get introduced to. Yeah, and then as we're seeing the TV, there's a lot of weird stuff happening as stuff in this diner is happening, because a weird fluctuation is happening in this diner, as you can kind of tell going through this story that, hey, something's not right in this diner, something's happening, and it's affecting the outside world. You're starting to realize that as the TV broadcast continues to go on. At this point, they start to get weary, trying to figure out what's going on. We find out that this is hour 5. The flies get restless. They're trying to get out. They're they're realizing that something is not right, but then they just kind of float back and relax. And then it gets to hour 7, where he gives them their deepest dreams of what they would love. and that you actually see a little bit one guy getting the job. He has the pushy job, and he's rich to extent. The other guy is getting down below by a stripper, just something that he likes to do, push them out of the car afterwards. Then another one is kind of gruesome a little bit. Like she just, her dreams are her husband being dead, which is a little bit crazy. And then we get to hour 8, moves him.
She takes inspiration from that. She's taking inspiration from that special cover.
Yeah. He hour 8, he moves among them. He gets to know them a little bit more, and that it's he feels like it echoes of their dreams. It's great dialogue, just trying to go through this hour 9 conflict. He decides to ramp things up, and things get a little crazy, a little bloody, a little bit rough. And as you can see, the TV is still going at the bottom here, telling the broadcasting and saying how there's some weird stuff happening out in the real world at this moment in time, because it's kind of like sitting in a place where nobody's leaving, nobody can come in, out and stuff. It's like it almost sits in its own space. And that it gets to the point, hour 10, they love him. They're screaming, and I was hoping D would be here for this. Hopefully he can hear. They're chanting D, 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 D. So they're chanting for you. They're chanting for you, man. Worships them. They move on to hour 11, catches up on the news. That's what has happening down there. We move on to hour 12, the time for them to get to know each other better. That's when they see everybody's darkest kind of secrets. And then it gets to hour 14, midnight. And things get a little bit weird, to say the least. They get to tell the future and trying to figure out what's happening. Things get rough when secrets start to be revealed, confessions and penance, and when that's happening, it's just everybody is kind of mutilating each other in a way and stuff. This was rough. This was the page that was not on that site because of the fact that I don't know if it was because of this or not, because it is a pretty bloody scene.
That was the page that I didn't see, actually. I read it on the other site, so I didn't see that page.
Yeah, this I didn't understand why it was purple, but like people just start ripping people apart. And that living victory, like the blood is sweet. Hour 19, he lies to them. He tells them they're proven safe. Hour 20, it was time for entertainment. I won't show the page because it does have nudity on it, but they were just entertaining themselves by doing whatever. It was either drinking, and then it gets to the point where things just go all wrong on hour 22. At this point, they're good, as good as dead. Sadly, it gets to hour 23. John D is holding the Dreamstone as it glows. An hour 24. That's when Dream himself shows up. But too late to save everybody. And that is Sandman issue number 6, 24 hours. The story's a lot better than how I described it. I'm just going to say that. So definitely read it if you have not read it. Because you definitely feel a lot of their pain while going through this issue. You feel the torture that he's pulling them to do, to say, and that it kind of like that's like my worst fear is not having control over my body, and that somebody else like dictating how I move, what I say, what I do. And that's what scares me the most in horror movies, and that's what scared me the most in this story. It was more psychological than anything, and I could feel mostly what these characters were going through, and how he was torturing each one of them through a short period of time for what we read, but it was long period for them until their gruesome death. Now I will say, Sandman is probably one of my favorite stories. I've read the complete series. I've watched it on Netflix, the Netflix show. It adapted this, and I also listened to the Audible version of it, where it's theatrical. They add sound effects, they add music, they have talented actors and actresses, well-known actors and actresses, because James McAvoy, who plays Professor X in like X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Futures Past, and that he voices Dream in that series. So it's very theatrical and it's very good. Is this my favorite story out of the series? No, my favorite one is Midsummer Midnight Dream is my favorite one. That's the best story I think from Sandman. But this story I thought would be good to bring for book club because it's for Halloween, for a little spooky story to get us in the mood for this Friday. And I thought I brought a good one. And yeah, reading this story is just it's nerve wracking at times going through it and stuff, because you're just like you put yourself in their shoes, like you try to identify with them and that and what it would feel like, and it freaks you right out. So I'll get to my scores now. The cover definitely embodies what the story is about, and pretty much them trapped in their mind in a way, and then it shows different arcs throughout the story, different things, and that. So I will give the cover a 3.5. Art, it's not it's not like my favorite art, but it goes with the story in a way. Some pages I didn't like, some were a little bit weird, like just I don't know, weird stuff like with the eye going up a little bit more than it should, weird stuff like that. But it went with the story, and it gave the eeriness of the story a little bit more. It actually boosted the story in my mind, but I'm still going to give it a 3.25. Now, story, like I said, I love the Sandman, and this is where I'm definitely going to be biased, because I can't give the Sandman story that I've heard in 3 adaptations, like read it, listened to it, watched it. So I'm going to give the story a 4.5. Because the story is it's one of my favorite stories. I know the writer is a little controversial in that, but you got to separate the art from the artist, and that he writes great, but he's not a good person. I'll just leave it at that. If he did what he did, allegedly.
I think this story shows that he's not a good person inside with those ideas.
So I think it was like a really creepy story for us to read. Great for Halloween and that. And I hope that you guys, if you've never read Sandman, and you guys check this out because you've seen this review coming, or the people that are on the panel, and this is your first story reading it, hopefully you'll read other stories, because it's not all dark as this. It does have some bleak moments, but it does have some bright moments too, because you're traveling through the dream world, as well as like some of the darker elements of going to hell and meeting Lucifer and that. But then you get some cool moments like meeting Thor and Loki and Odin's son, Odin. Like, it's so, I don't know. Oh, So overall, I will give this book a 4 because I just absolutely love the Sandman.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, and next up, I will pick D. D. D.
It's me.
D.
D is God. So I don't have my tablet up here to flip through pages. But overall, I really like this story. I would say that not being a huge Sandman connoisseur, um, I didn't quite know what I was getting into when I was reading it, and I had no idea if any of these characters, other than the Sandman, were introduced previously. So that kind of brought me out of the story a little bit. But then, gosh, I think I was like halfway through reading it when I realized that my wife had been watching this show, and I saw this episode, like kind of like halfway paying attention, halfway not. And I enjoyed the episode too. And then I noticed the differences, and but it's a cool story, and I'll probably I'll probably illegally read it online to see what happens in the next issue, because I want to see how that lines up with the show. But yeah, no, for the scores, the cover, I give it about like a 2.75. All the Sandman covers are pretty cool, but I also think they can all kind of blend together. So it's nothing too standoutish for me. So 2.75 is still above the midway point for me. The interior art, I think I'm going to go a 2.5. It was abstract a lot, and I understand that's part of the story. It blends in with it, but there's times where the abstract nature of it would be like, what am I looking at? So the art was not that amazing for me inside. The story, I'll give a 4 because I really like the story a lot. And overall, I think I'm going to go with an overall score of 3.
Cool.
And from here, I'm going to pick Biggie.
Oh boy. All right, here I come. I'm getting there. All right. Nope. Should have done it. There it goes. All right, cool. All right. Just like about everything I read, I have to read it 2 or 3 times. First time, not the biggest fan, because it takes me a minute to pick up on stuff. But after I was able to understand 2 things, the stones at the end, I didn't know what the heck that was, and who the creepy guy doing all the stuff was, and the guy at the end that popped up. Because all I knew about the creepy guy was he was John D. So once I realized that was that person and this, I read it again, and the first couple hours it kind of just feels like, oh, they're in a diner and there's a creepy guy with them, and it's like, this ain't really going nowhere. And then things start turning, and then I didn't understand if what was going on TV was really going on or it was just happening in this room. So I didn't know how big of an effect this guy was having, and I think I've found out that what was happening there was changing the way things were going on outside of the world. So they gave us and created a very powerful villain, and it was cool to see like where he came from, and it's kind of like an origin or first to me. I don't know if he was in a book before this or anything, but it was cool to see the characters. At first they would say things like, no, I don't want to do that, and then they'd have another chance to talk and they'd say, yes, I do want to do this. So you could see like there was a little bit of their soul still in there, trying to control the situation or something, or he was letting that happen, which was interesting. But at the end of it, like, these guys were happy to hurt themselves. They were enjoying it at some points. And very twisted. And there was some definitely like psychological killer stuff in there. Like whenever for an hour it was just dark, and then for another hour he just kind of basked in his the stuff he did. You know, that's kind of like the frame mind of a killer. So he did his thing. Now I think I got the wrong cover on the thumbnail, so I'll fix it later. I kind of soaked in this thumbnail. And one more thing I'm gonna say before I give my scores. I think that I was told by TM that they were trying to get Sam Keith to do the inside arts, and before he said that, I was like, this reminded me of the Max. If I've read anything close to this, it was the Max, because it's kind of like a dream world thing. And it was interesting to hear that, because I could see that working for this book, and it did kind of look like it a little bit, not a ton. Like the big guy, that looks like something would be in the Max to me. But so for cover, I mean, I'm pretty tough on covers. This ain't like knock my socks off cover, so I'm gonna go 2.75. Inside art, I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it fit for the stuff they were doing. It had to be kind of abstract, I think. I don't know if I'm smart enough to make that make sense, or if I'm
right.
actually right.
That's the way I was going with it.
I'm thinking that it had to be like this. So it could have maybe been a little bit better with maybe Sam Keith, but maybe this is the best way they could have done it. So I'm gonna give it a 3. Story 4. It was pretty good. And overall, I'm gonna give it a 3.75. Yeah, 3.75. Not my exact cup of tea, but I could tell it was good. So for me, I'm gonna pick Alan.
Okay. So I was trying to remember that this was in the first season of Sandman, right? In terms of the TV series, right? And that was not one of my favorite episodes, actually. It was not my favorite. I actually really liked the episode where he meets the immortal man. Basically, he makes somebody immortal. I like that episode a lot. I think the Sandman story is generally a pretty good one. I think there is a little context that needs to be given to this story, that Sandman is trying to reclaim his artifacts of power, right? His mask, his dream amulet. There's a bunch of things, right? He's trying to reclaim.
Yeah, it was his helm and his amulet.
Yeah. So, and this was where the amulet was basically residing. It was with this D guy, not that D guy, but so this is how powerful it's one of those things where it shows how powerful the artifacts that Sandman has, and how if they're in the wrong hands, they can really lead to destruction. In this case, it was a worldwide phenomenon. It was not just the diner, but they used the diner just to sort of showcase sort of like a localized version of what was happening in the rest of the world. And that's why they showed the TV as a way to sort of give you a sense of this is not just in the diner, it's happening outside in the world. And you got even like the puppet guy. He likes, this is how you slit your wrists, kids. It's pretty horrific stuff going on. And that is the danger of things being in the wrong hands. And for those people who are not familiar, Sandman in this era, like I'm used to Golden Age Sandman, very different character. 80s, 90s Sandman is more of a godlike character. And he's even such a powerful character that even he can stand toe to toe with the devil, which he does later on. So this is giving you a sense of his power when it's in the wrong hands. And we also see the situation where you see the gradual breakdown of people. You see, these people that are just, at first it's the waitress is, it's like her story where it's her talking about how she gives everybody a happy ending, and it's all like flowers and rainbows and pony rides, and it's all pretty, and it gradually breaks down to more and more destructive things. Like one of them has a necrophilia thing going on. Others have one, the rich guy beats, prostitutes, and they're just not good people. Like all of the facade is broken, and we see the breakdown of these people. For me, not one of my favorite stories. I think it was a good story, but in terms of showing all that, but it's not my cup of tea per se. There's other things I enjoy more, but I think Sandman is brilliantly written. Neil Gaiman is a brilliant writer. So for this, the cover for me, sort of bland. The problem with a lot of the early Sandmans in this run is they all had that sort of pitch, almost like a mirror, and then the things along the sides, and some look better than others. This was one of the weaker of those. It's just the hands, right? So for me, this is like one of the weaker ones. I would give it a 2. I'm going to be a little harsh on the cover. Sorry, but the cover didn't really work for me. Interior art was great, though. I think the interior art was much better. I gave the interior art like a 3. I thought it was fairly good. It told the story. It was abstract when it needed to be abstract. It also had different styles when it needed to have different styles. I thought that kind of worked. So I give it a 3, but it wasn't something I was blown away by. But the story, I'd give it a 3.5. I think it's well written. It shows that breakdown of people. Just not a story that generally I would gravitate to. That's why I'm giving it a little lower score. But it is well written. And overall, I would give the whole thing a 3. So that's my thing, and I guess I have to pick Matt. Matt is the only one left.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh well, I was forced to. I felt like I was compelled to pick Matt.
Well, I am a compelling person. apparently, this is my story because I compel people to do it anyway.
Yeah.
This was the first time in my life I ever read a Sandman book. Considering everything I've read all over the course of my lifetime, I'm surprised at it myself, but this was the first time. So I was confused as heck because I had no idea who the character was at first. I had to do a little bit of looking around afterwards. So the story was a good horror story, though. I will say that. It would make a great episode of a X-rated or R-rated version of the Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know. I didn't watch Sandman the show. I didn't know that was already done.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to have to go dig that up. And
the first season's quite good, I thought.
Or isn't there only the one season?
2 seasons.
No, there's 2 seasons. The second season's good too.
Okay, well,
second season has my favorite.
I just finished. I just finished House of the Dragon, and I'm looking for something else to watch. So perhaps I might look into this. After all, it's Halloween this week. So not knowing the relationships about the characters, and not knowing that the Sandman, or whatever you call him, Morpheus. Sorry, I mean
Morpheus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing anything about it. A little bit of this is lost to me reading just this book, but I'll take that and put it aside and do this on the book's merits, on what I've seen from the book. The cover makes no sense to me. Again, it's probably because I haven't seen anything. But the cover, like, I go back and look at it and I'm like, So I'm going to give, for artistic talent, it brings the score up. So I'm going to give the cover a 2.25. But it doesn't make sense to me. And I maybe because, again, I don't have any background to it. However, that's the only low score I'm going to give it, because the interior art suited the story. And I give the interior art, as a result, as I always say, I try to take the art for its time and what it's, and with the story. So I'm going to give the interior art a 4. Now for writing. I would give this a high score if I knew more, a higher score if I knew more what the heck was going on. But as I said, as a potential Twilight Zone type episode, as the way I saw it, because again, I didn't know. I actually think that this would be a darn good one, up there with one of the best. And I would, so therefore, I'm actually going to give the writing a 4.25, because I read it twice too, like Biggie. And the first time I was confused, and then I read it the second time, and I'm like, okay, I see the story now. I see where it's going. Now I get it. I get it a little more. One of the things, by the way, I should have mentioned this on the art, but one of the things I liked about the art was the subtle background stuff. Like, you don't get any indicator that, but the hand is like nailed to the table and it's cut off. Like, like that kind of thing. Like, is the little, the gruesome things, yes, but the little things in the back, like for example, some of the buttons that the lesbian girl was wearing,
yeah.
It was interesting, like it's just nonchalant. What do you call them? Red herrings or whatever, but they were cool. So overall, I give the book a 3.75. It would rate a little higher if the cover didn't confuse me so much.
The cover, yeah, I didn't care for the cover either.
I had to think, as I said, on my first impression on the cover, I would have given it a 1. So after I read the story, that's brought it up for me. Okay,
that's rough.
So that's my score.
I thought that the side panels with the box kind of picked up for the cover. That's why I gave it more than average. Like the guy with the bag on the head, that was my favorite part of the cover. But I get the whole like arms reaching out and the they were stuck in a dream world. They're reaching to get out, man. Like,
yeah, but I don't see that. The problem is I didn't really, and I still don't see that per se. All I see is a bunch of arms flying up, and it had nothing to do with the story. Like, again, because I don't know the backgrounds to the Sandman world, I don't know how significant that is. And unfortunately, to my detriment, I had to do with what I had, what I knew. And
I'm just explaining why I went for it. Wasn't there a cover in that volume where it was like the devil? There was like a horn guy. I think that's my favorite one. You know what I'm talking about? First Lucifer, maybe.
I would know, but okay.
I used to have the whole run. I'm so sad.
Oh, is that part of your wife got rid of
this one? I think
my wife got rid of it. Yeah, that one.
That's the big key. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
now that one is a cover I like.
There's another one with the horn guy that I like a lot too. All right, let's get the total. All right,
because Sam Keith did the earlier art in Sandman, but the second, I think he only did to a certain point because this is.
So is it Sam Keith or who is this that did the art for this one?
It's somebody else because they had to replace Sam Keith because he couldn't keep up.
Biggie, I'm getting 66.75.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I mean, it is a good Halloween story. I mean, it was it was probably the most gruesome episode of Sandman when they did the TV series. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I just do this every show, so it looks like, let's see what TM did. TM gave it the highest score, Matt gave it the second, I gave it the third, and Alan gave it the lowest. So that's the way it went.
Sorry.
Okay,
I didn't give it a score then.
Oh, my bad, D. D gave it the fourth. He was above Alan.
So yeah,
this score of 66.75 represents our median. It's literally one from the middle.
Okay, so about average book for. But I mean, we're picking. This is average amongst some of the best stories that we picked, right? You know, like we're picking stories that we like.
It's not like anybody hammered it though. It went from 11.5 to like 15.25. So
yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, I still gave it 14 and a quarter after the end of it. It's like it's just the cover, and even then I gave it higher than I would have originally given it. So
I would recommend reading it twice, because the first time I was just like, meh, and the second time I was like, okay, I get it better now. So
the thing actually I do like about Sandman is, even though it might be a little confusing, a lot of the books are almost independent stories that kind of bring a greater story in together, if that makes sense.
Well, that kind of if I knew that, well,
because these characters they never come back. They're gone.
Well, I'm guessing they're all dead.
Yeah.
Well, one more thing before I get off of it, unless y'all got some. The whole 24-hour thing made it a good solid issue. I think that was one of the smarter things they did. You know, it gave you we're getting there or whatever, you know, and it just set it up good to me. So we just got TM, so I believe it's Matt's turn. Is that right?
I'm giving up. I am definitely a Silver Age guy. The more and more. I keep talking like I like Bronze Age and I like Golden Age and as much.
You're a Silver Age guy.
But when it comes down to my favorite stories and that, I'm a Silver Age DC guy, and I've decided to pick one that I think we're all going to enjoy. The cover does not reflect the story that I want, because that's the downside of anthology sometime. But I've picked Adventure Comics 303. And the story I want us to read is the first one. It's the it's the Legion one. It's the first appearance of Matter Eater Lad. Mm-hmm. And I've decided to pick him because I recently saw the scene with from Peacemaker where they mentioned him, and it made me laugh, and I thought, I'm having a hard time picking a book, I'll just grab that one.
All right. Mm-hmm. That's a good choice. I haven't read it yet, so that's a good one.
So yeah, Adventure Comics 303.
I got that book because of you, because you keep on going on about Antimatter Lad and
Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eating Lad.
I love. Okay, this is how much I don't want to say that. This is how much of a joke that the DC people, for those that aren't aware, think of this character. This guy's power is he can eat anything, literally eat and digest anything, energy, rocks, poison, whatever. They created his origin so that he was from the city of Pepto, from the planet Bismol.
Yes. Pepto Bismol. I mean, it's great. It's a very cute thing, but
it's a hilarious thing. Somebody's it's like it's like the Red Bee, where his creator was B.H. Apiary.
Yeah.
The kind of little silly joke.
It's a Matter Eating Lad.
Matter Eater Lad.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, I'll keep on messing up his name. Is he like was he supposed to be a one and done, and then they realized that
he
people
joined the
actually
Legion?
Liked him, or?
He joined the Legion. He has one of the smallest appearances. He's only in, to my knowledge, in the adventure run, he's only in 8 to 10 books. He's one of the less used members, but he had a couple of cover appearances, including that famous one where he's about to get executed, and Superboy stops in front of him, but doesn't. It still goes around him. That was issue 345, I believe.
So does he make his fortune through like eating contests and all that kind of stuff?
No. In the books, eventually he gets drafted because the planet Bismol doesn't have elections. They have some sort of computer thing that says that this person would make the best whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so they drafted him to be president of the planet in later issues. And he's president of the planet in that Legion of Substitute Heroes special later.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll go around the horn. For me, me and TM just did a Hot Five Commandments today. Very good books on there. I suggest you go check that out. Friday, Doc called, said he's going to be there. Fingers crossed. Yeah, he might come back, and he said he'll try to make Saturday too. And nothing really planned for club. I think it's going to be Halloween. So Doc said he'll battle if we feel like it, but it'll probably be like people want to show horror books. I see how the club feels when we get there.
Yeah, I think it should be horror books. I'm gonna have on my channel a horror show. Like whoever, like if anyone comes, I don't know if anyone's.
Yeah, I'm alone in the house. I have to be the candy guy, so I'm probably not going to be there on yours, Alan. Biggie, depending on if I have to pick up my daughter or not when she's I be on yours?
Yeah, no problem, man.
If I don't have to pick her up, I will be on your show. I'll definitely be there Saturday night.
Cool.
Yeah.
What
and okay. We'll stream.
I'm gonna make everybody else big too.
We'll stream through this channel, which is my channel, and your channel, and TM's channel. And maybe even Matt, if Matt wants to do it. We could have
everybody could do it.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think that is going to happen because I don't want to spread it too much. I want some of the audiences to concentrate somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, actually,
your audience
going across. I see my I'm streaming into Biggie's right now, but I see my channel people commenting on this, which is interesting.
But also for me, as like I said, you and I have a lot of the same crowd, so I don't want to split them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So but that's something to look forward to. So I think that'll be the big thing on Saturday to do. That we're gonna watch the CBCA awards or CBC awards, I should say, and we'll stream it. We'll simultaneously
simulcast it.
Yeah, I was trying to say Simo and then fantastic, but together.
One more.
We'll do that on Saturday, and it'll be fun. Everybody will enjoy it. It'll be the best ever.
Yeah, it'll be great. One more thing before I switch off of you. So this week was D&D.
D&D
for top 10 covers.
Oh, last week. That was on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll get that done tonight. I'll try to get that one done. So, and then Friday we'll have a new one.
Friday we'll have a new one, and I gotta figure out what that was.
I'll tell you when we're off screen.
All right.
Sorry, guys. I was more energetic, and then once I don't know a certain time happened, and I just got like brain fog and was just like down. So I'm sorry that I didn't introduce the book. Like I know I was not that good at it. I'm sorry.
You did fine.
For me, I had Big Nasty Comics on my channel just yesterday, so definitely go check that out. I'll be sitting down with Rad Art and Comics tomorrow, and then that will be dropping. Then Darth Lopez, and then next week Bobby Delegato, the 100th episode, where he'll be giving away a gigantic art book that he's drawn throughout the years for like the last 5 years. It has art that he's done for Between the Lines, art that he's just randomly drawn. So you guys can win that on November 5th on my channel. So tune into that. Other than that, Biggie said we had Hot 5 Commandments today. And other than that, I'm over on Bleaker's channel every Sunday. And then, I'll be there for the CBC Awards reveal.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you for the choice today, too, TM. That was a really good book. D. Big, beautiful guy. What's up in D's world?
D. Nothing at all.
Cool. All right. shout outs to D. That's my homie. If D does make a channel, he makes it here. If you ain't doing nothing Saturday, which I know you're a busy guy, stop by. I think the whole crew will be there. But thank you for hanging out, D. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, Friday night, as I said, is Halloween. I'm hoping to be on Biggie's show, but if I can't, I can't. My wife and kids are going to be leaving the house, so I'm stuck being Candyman. On Sunday,
times.
What?
Say that 3 times.
Yes, I know. I'm not going
Candyman. No,
it's just the wrong time. On Sunday, I have a Superman show where my guests so far will be Lyle, who's bought a whole bunch of new Superman books, and I'm going to have Thomas O'Donnell as well in his first appearance on the Superman show. And then Tuesday, I have Lyle again because he's going to show non-Superman stuff from all the boxes he bought.
All right. So, yeah, you can catch us all on Friday back here. And you catch everybody on their respective channels soon. Next week will be the first appearance of Mad Eater Lad.
Yes, Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eater Lad. We'll get it.
I guess we'll see y'all then. I appreciate y'all. That has been Sandman 6, and we'll see y'all next time. #enjoy.
Biggie. Biggie.